There. Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, and this is today's news. I'm your host, Larry Schweikart, bringing you the headlines. Get all the stories, get all the nicknames, get all the links below here on uncoveredec.com. And you will find me right here 5 days a week, except this Friday, I'm off again to one of those great homeschool conventions, so I won't be here Friday. But other than that, I'll be back on Thursday. All right, let's get started. In political news, as predicted by Robert Barnes, the judge in the Kari Lake signature match trial denied start again. In political news, as predicted by Robert Barnes, the judge in the Kari Lake signature match trial denied Let's try this for the third time. In political news, as predicted by Robert Barnes, the judge in the Kari Lake signature match trial found insufficient evidence of any fraud. Well, of course, he found insufficient evidence. Barnes showed in his initial statements the judge set the bar so high even F. Lee Bailey couldn't have won that one. Continued corruption in my home state. But as you know, it's normal that 250,000 ballot signatures can be verified in 3 seconds. It happens all the time. Some 62% of Americans are increasingly worried about rutabaga's mental fitness. What, just now? An early glimpse of the dangers of AI as a fake image showing an explosion at the Pentagon sent markets plummeting. Of course, we also had the ongoing fake image of a brainless dead man acting as POTUS, so there's that. Rutabaga will end familial DNA testing at the border, which supposedly allowed illegal criminals to, I'll start that one again. Rutabaga will end familial DNA testing at the border, which supposedly allowed illegal criminals to bring in children not their own. As if it did anything anyway. Shocked, Rutabaga and McCarthy agreed to a debt deal, so no default. I told you, these scrotum canoes would never permit a default. They'd lose too much money in their portfolios. You want to know how deeply entrenched the homosexual pedophile movement is already in the schools? A Glen Hills, Georgia elementary school teacher's aide who previously had faced charges of child molestation for licking a young boy's feet is back to foot licking again. Lord, please give me the dragons from Game of Thrones just for a week, then you can do what you want with me. This is the way to deal with this garbage. Tampon dispensers in boys' bathrooms are being put in toilets. Prepare for a false flag. Senators have been issued satellite phones for emergency communications. New footage shows police stations in Benghazi by the lake filled with mattresses and illegal criminals as the city struggles to house 200 new illegal criminals per day. While Democrats pitched a plan to turn New York University dorms into illegal criminal migrant shelters. You people voted for this, so, you know, no mercy, no pity. Oh, Denver's Gidle-Gridget mayor said that the illegal criminals bust by Governor Greg Abbott probably would have ended up there anyway, and that the influx in Denver was, quote, unsustainable. Now you know how all the border states felt. A second IRS Hunter Biden whistleblower has come forward and was threatened with criminal prosecution. The Department of Injustice acted inappropriately, he said. Shocked. The Last Refuge asks, quote, is faux news coordinating with the DeSoros Never Back Down PAC? Probably. Oracle's Larry Ellison is set to donate millions to back Tim Bankster Scott's presidential run. Yeah, old Bankster is for the little people, all right. Is the Republican Party in trouble for 2024? Asks this article. My answer is not a bit if you can ameliorate some of the fraud, let alone control it. I think Trump's going to get 80 to 85 million genuine votes. In economic news, the core inflation rate is up 244% under Rutabaga. Food is up 46%. Gas is up 60%. Ford has reversed course and will keep AM radios in cars. Good for them. Good. Anson Frericks, a former president of Anheuser-Busch, said Bud Light and other brands would suffer unless they could persuade customers they prioritize them rather than social issues. He forecast, quote, a long, hot, dry summer for the company. And in this related story, Bud Light sales tanked another 25% last week, affecting all Anheuser-Busch brands, including Michelob. Rent inflation is red hot. In international news, a Qatari minister says, quote, the worst is yet to come for Europe's energy shortages. May they freeze burning their copies of the Unabomber Manifesto and Das Kapital. Belgium's Prime Minister Alexander De Croo criticized the degrowth policy and called for a regulatory break in Europe. Inch by inch, these motards are figuring out that you need oil. A petroleum economist says the rise of BRICS countries challenges the oil world order. It's kind of hard to say. Millions in Mexico are preparing for evacuation as Mount Popo volcano appears ready to blow. And that would be, let me see if I can get this right, Popocatépetl. Not bad, huh? Love it. The story leaked out. Dozens of giant wind turbines in Scotland are driven by diesel generators. So they are net consumers of energy and of fossil fuels to boot. Debt-ridden Chi-Com cities face, quote, brutal cutbacks. I don't understand Chi-Coms. Why don't you just print money like we do? The critical drinker destroys the latest. No, sorry, stop. This is out of order. I'm going to put this below. Brit Prime Minister Rishi Sunak heralds the biggest crackdown on immigration ever by tightening student visas. Barn door, eat horse. In entertainment news, the critical drinker destroys the latest Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Recliner of Leisure. Oh, sorry, whatever it's called. This, he said, could be the nail in Lucasfilm's coffin. Let's hope so. After Yellow Flash's report yesterday that the Little Mermaid remake toys were already in the discount bin, and it hasn't even been released yet, now the show's pre-ticket sales show the worst performing Disney release in China ever. This won't end well for Disney. How the Life of Brian made the world a worse place. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, I laughed. And at times it spread the wealth around. But in the end, it undermined Christianity. How exactly did that help the world? In China virus news, Steve Kirsch asks, can you name 5 unvaxxed Amish people who died from the China virus? And the answer, of course, is no. Supposedly they should have died in droves, but we know why they didn't. They didn't take the vax. And finally, one lost suitcase went on a 12,400-mile trip across Canada and the U.S. Yes, but did it bring back a t-shirt? Anyway, that's today's news. The news of today's the history of tomorrow. I'm Larry Schweikart. Catch me here 5 days a week, except for this Friday when I'll be at a convention. Also, check out my Wild World of History, where you can find full curricula for U.S. and world history courses. These are for high schoolers, and they include all the paper content, teacher's guides, student guides, and me teaching all lessons in high production video. Also, we are trying to make Patriot's history into a video. Check out the Buy Larry a Coffee and the video trailer, and if you like it, buy me a coffee. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.